Welcome one, welcome all. It's the Saturday after the Cheltenham Festival and we are fresh and ready to go. Welcome along to the Morning Post. In conjunction, of course, with the Racing Post. We're in Racing Post HQ somewhere in the capital on a fine Saturday morning. And this is sponsored by William Hill. We're going to open up the trading floor to you because the punting goes on. What sort of week did you have? Best week of the year for many. Lots and lots of debriefs will happen next week. We're going to give you our review of it at the top of the show. Get involved on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment and share. That's what it's all about. Get it all over the place. I tell you what, I am feeling fresh. It's been a great week. Get your comments in. How did you do? Anyone get any big hackers up? Did your naps land? Come on, be honest. Are you like some of our panellists and you're feeling the strain slightly? Well, we're about to find out who joins me on this fine Saturday morning. As I said, Johnny Poste's with us. Great to have you, Posty.
Yeah, delighted to be here. I'm definitely not feeling the strain. I actually said to someone yesterday, I get better and fresher as the week goes on.
You come alive, yeah. That's your saying, isn't it?
Exactly.
You were there for 5 Live all week, and you did a little show for us yesterday as well, down there. And you do look fresh.
Yeah, I feel good, mate. Yeah.
Did you sort of look after yourself, wrap yourself up in cotton wool? Did you each night? Because I know what you like.
Yeah, you know me. I drink a heap of water.
A lot of your pals actually won races as well, didn't they? Which was dangerous, I imagine.
I tell you what, they're leading the fight back, aren't they, the Skeltons?
They are. Talking about fight backs, Robbie Wilders could do with fighting back. It's been a long week for you, Rob.
It's been a knackering week, mate.
Are you feeling it?
I don't know if any of our viewers wear a whoop, but I got 1% recovery. That's the very minimum percentage of recovery you can get from a night's sleep.
You need to go to bed at night, though.
I've still got 7.5 hours sleep. That's the problem. It's just my heart rate and like the nutrition and stuff.
How many words have you written this week for the Racing Post?
Keith Melrose plugged a nice stat that between myself, Mr. Rodway and Keith, we've written, 97,000 words?
97,000 words, and
yeah.
you let go a little bit of steam last night, didn't you?
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, out with the producer boys in our local boozer.
And you were an ambassador yesterday for the Racing Post. I mean, who knew?
I was holding a microphone for about 10 minutes.
I would pay to have seen it.
That's the first time I've actually held one since I did karaoke on the cruise ship.
They say you're a wizard on the hockey as well, aren't you?
Yeah, not. You won't be surprised to know that I have dyspraxia, Posty. So if you saw my darts throwing last night. I was more likely to not hit the board than hit it.
Well, did anyone survive, or was there any incidents?
I think someone almost got wiped out, to be fair. But
it's lucky you made it out. You wiped out.
Liam Head was in deep trouble at one point. But
is that right? And Graeme Rodway, welcome back to you. A long week. 97,000 words, was it?
97,000 words between 3 of us this week.
Wow.
So, yeah, the equivalent of a best-selling novel.
Yeah.
In 1 week.
And how did it go? Let's go round the table like we will do with you as well, guys at home. What was the 17 races?
What was the highlight of the week?
No. How did the punting go? This is a betting show.
Sine Nomine was a big one for me.
Sing your praises, boy.
I was keen on the whole way up in the run up to the festival. Yeah.
Just give us a quick lowdown as to why that was. Of course, British pointing. If people don't know, Charlie Post has got some sort of hierarchy role there this season as well. So have you been watching her, then plot around, or was the buzz strong for her?
Yeah, over the last couple of seasons, she is a. If you're looking at, she's a proper pointer. She won a maiden in British point-to-point. She'd come through the ranks and always looked very talented. And then I thought she was very, very good at Wetherby on some heavy ground. She's a saint-to-saint mare, so thrives in testing conditions.
Yeah. And that was the big one.
I just thought from a value perspective, the Irish horses were overbet.
People were singing your praises, Posty, I have to say. Bruce Millington came on Twitter and I had to back it, he said. So well done. Every dog has his day. Unlike the bear over here.
Do we have to do this?
We do have to do this.
Do we have to talk about...
Every week I have to go through this at the end of the show.
Yeah, I did get one winner, but I had to wait until Limerick Lace yesterday, which was 5 o'clock on the Friday for my first winner. It was a really tough week, Dave.
You put that down to the ground somewhat?
Put it down to the ground somewhat because I'm not a massive ground punter. I tend to think that horses that go on good ground go on good to soft ground. Don't like to get delve too deeply into the ground.
Tom Siegel is sort of the same price-wise on this as well.
Yeah, and I just think the ground was really, really soft, and as a result, a lot of my horses didn't go on it. But I also got a lot of other things wrong. Like I didn't think Tupu stayed, and he won.
Well done. It's an opinion that we need strong opinions in this game, right? Even really bad ones.
Yeah, I thought Edward Stone I thought Edward
You know what,
Stone.
he does stay.
He does stay, sadly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought Edward Stone would get El Fabiolo's jumping in trouble,
Yeah,
which
you were
he,
right
which he
about
did.
that.
I did call that. However, I thought Edward Stone would go on and win, and then ended up going so fast, Edward Stone,
Yeah.
that his own jumping fell apart. He fell, and then
Yeah.
somehow Captain Guinness won the champion chase.
Yeah, so look.
Somehow.
Well, indeed, quite. The big moment for Robbie Rods. Just one, please.
I was going to say, I think Rod has got it spot on about his grey horses jumping better for him with Grey Dawn. And,
That was lovely, wasn't it?
yeah, beautiful performance.
Yes.
I was going through the results this morning and I counted that I backed 9 horses to finish second at double figure odds. So it was one of those weeks for me.
We got Johnny
A lot of
Dineen
nice
joining us
positions.
on the show. He's going to do the Irish Angle guys, and I think he's got a bit of the Oliver Twist about him as well, the seconditis. Let's introduce a new face to you, shall we? Johnny the Judge is probably having a bit of a cold ice bath. Johnny Simpson, one of the top traders at William Hill. Jamie McBride, probably, maybe he didn't make it through the week because they've wheeled out a new young face for you, and it's Sam Norris, William Hill trading floor. Look at that smile. It's been a good week. How did William Hill get on, first and foremost, Sam?
Yeah, it sort of got better as the week went on, actually. Tuesday, obviously, with Stateman and Lossiemouth both going in, bit of a disaster. And then Wednesday kicks off with Ballyburn winning, then Factor File wins straight after. But it was left to El Fabiolo, casting the role of Annie Power, if you like, this year. He was the saviour, the toast of the trading room. That knocked out the big treble on Wednesday. It took down a lot of kind of weekly actors as well, with El Fabiolo getting beat. And we clawed a bit back from there on out. There were a few shock results that went our way toward the back end of the week. Even Galopin Des Champs winning the Gold Cup was not a disaster from our point of view, really. We couldn't particularly lay him. Most of the business was on some of the outsiders each way. So he wasn't a bad result. Started badly, got better. It was a decent kind of to and fro between the backers and the layers, I think. A good tug of war. All in all, Dave, I'd say it was a score draw for the week.
Oh, I like this guy. He's got a bit. I like the cut of his jib. He's got a bit of energy, young Sam, hasn't he?
He looks fresh as well.
He does. He does look fresh. He's not hard this morning with the present company.
This man has a career in the media in common, I'll tell
We
you.
like it. We like it. Sam, let's stick with you. Every single week, we give it a boost from William Hill, one of the big players on a Saturday. Got a tremendous record of getting these sunk. So, viewers, if you're a layer out there, stand by. What's the big boost for William Hill today?
Yeah, we're going to go Bo Balco today, who runs in the 135 at Kempton, the opener. It's a race where you can, maybe give chances to all 5 runners, but we're going 5-2, out to 7-2 for Bo Balco. This could be a massive price come post time because we have shortened him up already this morning, but to take him back out to 7-2, maybe a very nice way. And he earned a justified success over fences last time round at Musselburgh. He'd been building up to that. All of his runs prior over fences had been heading in the right direction. He finally got that win at Musselburgh last time around. The horses he's got to beat, Issa Dairy sets the standard in the race, but he's got an £8 whack for just a short head victory last time around at Newbury. And Persian Time would ordinarily be a big player, but he's trained by Nicky Henderson, and we know what a cloud the runners have been in this week. So, yeah, Bo Balco, 7-2 out from 5-2. He's strong in the market, so come post time, 7-2 might look massive.
I love it, Sam. Very succinct as well. Sterling start from the young man, isn't it? There you go there. Bo Balco, 7-2. I spoke to Harry Cobden yesterday. Doesn't half fancy his chance as well. Spoke to Gary Moore as well. We'll get a word from the panel about what the weather's doing, what the likely ground is at Kempton, because Issa Dairy, unlike some of Moore's horses, doesn't want too much rain. In fact, Gary said he'd pull him if it's too soft underfoot, the hat-trick seeker. We'll get to that in a bit. Your big Saturday previews coming up. Slogfest at Uttoxeter that will be the Midlands National. Cannot wait for that. But first, it's time for a Cheltenham review. Now, we've had a little bit about our own personal views. I mean, I didn't really go into mine. Better days ahead yesterday was a right result. Saw that coming a little mile off, and I think that was a very, very strong form race. But let's pick out the merits of some of the best winners on the week. We've got to start with Slade Steel. We'll try and get through this as succinctly as we can, guys. It was all about the rhetoric going in, where would Ballyburn go? Slade Steel would have been right at home, Charlie, wouldn't he? I think in the Gallagher as well. He comes, of course, to the Supreme. Sweated up, got on his toes, always up there, little bit keen. What an attitude he showed. What sort of horse is he?
I mean, potentially he's a very good horse, isn't he? As in, he's a first Grade 1 winner for Telescope as well as a sire, so which was an interesting sort of byproduct to that race. But he looks an embryonic chaser as well, doesn't he, Dave? I'd have said.
Have you got any telescopes at home? If you don't know, Charlie breaks a lot of horses and does point to
We've
pointing.
had a few through the place. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. I mean,
Come on.
Like,
Tell us the real
I'll be honest,
deal on
the ones
telescope.
that we've had, if I'm talking from personal experience, I think are just okay. You know, as in I've not been blown away by them. But
So a massive moment for the side then, of course.
yeah, huge moment for the side. You know, could be a big thing for him. You know, he stands in the Britain as well, which is an unusual thing. But yeah, I thought Slade Steele was very, very good. I mean, it was probably a race that was more. Was there an element of the underperformance of the likes of Tully Hill within that contest? Yeah, you know, as in.
Yeah.
And I didn't think there was. I thought he jumped well enough, Tully Hill. I thought he had the run of the race. And he just wasn't good enough.
But the second, remind me his name, the Corvega, Mystical Power, who should really be running on the flat. Bit too keen, but and better ground. We could have a bit of a weapon there as well, couldn't we? I thought he ran a really, really good race. He led at the last. From a ratings perspective, you guys rated it really quite lowly.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a great race personally, Dave. Mason seemed to agree, our handicapper. It was obviously, because Ballyburn didn't go there, it was kind of a bit like a race between all the second strings, I felt.
Was it quicker than Champion Hurdle?
I don't know.
I got someone answer that for me out there.
It might be.
Sam Morris is
Wasn't a great Champion Hurdle,
We'll test
was it?
Sam Morris here, see if he can get his times up.
Wasn't a great champion, was it? So it's quite possible.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I think that Slade Steele's a good horse, but I don't think you're
He's
looking
going to go chasing, surely, right?
You'd imagine so.
you're looking at Star.
Rob, let's come to the Arkle. And again,
Well, that was a long time ago now.
well, it was a long time ago.
Gator Warrior, really
wakey Wilders.
He jumped much better than
Here we are, look, Warrior in charge. Was this one of the, I don't know, egg on face moments for punters of the week? A lot of people backed him, obviously, Posty, but it was a big price for a horse of that calibre on ratings going
Look,
in.
he's got a huge engine, hasn't he, first and foremost. But I'll be honest, I couldn't have had him on my mind. I thought he might have ended up in the hospitality tents with the jumping right.
And how wrong were you?
Yeah, completely, which is fine, you know, as in. But I think it also highlights the genius of Willie Mullins. You know, like after seeing him run a lifeless race behind Factor File at the DRF, to then think, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to drop this horse back to 2 miles. We're going to pop a hood on him, and we're going to run him left-handed in the Arkle.
Yeah.
And he absolutely bolts up. I just thought, fair play.
Strength of the Arkle. You've got Ella Tomp, who made a couple of purling errors running on into third.
He was quite eye-catching, to be fair.
He was. He's a tiny horse.
Just
as well,
doesn't like Cheltenham, lads, does he?
Not really. I don't think so. He probably wants a bit further. Keels was talking about that on this show a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure it's going to be quick enough for him, which I thought was quite interesting. How do we rate the Arkle?
Well, I mean, Gaelic Warrior is like, but even before that, I think I was right in it. He probably is one of the best novice chasers in training. It's just he needs a set of circumstances, right-handed, and probably a little bit shorter.
He didn't need it at Cheltenham.
He jumped much. I don't know if it's down to the hood or whatever it was, but he jumped much better than he did at Leopardstown.
Do you think it was a case of just totally outclassing his field?
I don't think it was a very good race, the Arkle.
I agree.
I think it
Good
was
winner.
a good winner.
Yes.
I think the winner is very good. The time is very good. Stacks up really well across the whole week.
Okay.
Gaelic Warrior's victory. I think he'll go on and be one of the stars of next season. But where he runs next season, who knows? Because, of course, we can start it now. The great Willie Mullins monopoly. Where does he run all of these winners that have all won this week?
Let's hear
next
from
year?
you at home. Where does Gaelic Warrior go?
Tingle
Where do
Creek.
all these horses go?
Tingle Creek.
Yeah, I like that. I like that shout.
Do you know what I'd like to see him take on? I'd like to see Protectorat run against him there.
He'd get El Fabiolo at it. Oh, Protector would be brilliant. That Dan would be up for it, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
To the charge, absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk about Dan Skelton shortly. Let's go to the Champion Hurdle as we wrap up day one. I think we need to wrap up there because we're fairly short on time. State Man.
Champion, he's just a brilliant horse. He does what he needs to do. I think he was valued to beat Irish Point by a bit further.
There's a bit of an elephant in the room there, Rob, because look in the right-hand corner. State Man returns lowest winning ratings.
Yeah, I think that's
92.
just the nature of how he wins races, though. He's not particularly flashy. He doesn't ever win by 20 lengths. He's not got that constitutional style of racing about him. So I don't know. I'd still rate him an absolutely brilliant horse.
But he's obviously a winning machine, but he can't get away from that rating. I guess it's the lack of depth behind him. And this was the moment when everyone predictably went, "What would Constitution have done?" Can we all be unanimous that would have been a race for second? Yeah, we're all unanimous. Irish Point, by the way.
State Man's a very good horse, isn't he? 10 Grade 1s now. Like, he just doesn't capture anyone's imagination, does he? He just when I was there, he walks up in the parade like he literally is half asleep. You know, he goes through his race just economically.
Yeah.
He never wins spectacularly. And then afterwards, he looked like if they took the bridle off him in the winner's enclosure, he'd just stand there and pick grass. You know, so no one seems to get excited by him, but you wouldn't mind owning him, would you?
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's day one. Well, now this is an interesting question. Of course, we saw what Lossymouth did. a champion hurdle mare, said Mullins. No, I think we all knew that, guys, going in, didn't we? Or most of us did. I'm talking to you viewers out there as well. Where would she have finished? Careful. Getting £7 from those two. And I thought Irish Point, if he goes to Aintree, he's an absolute certainty over 2 mile 4, isn't he? He's a knocking moral. I really, really like Irish Point. I think he enhanced his reputation no end. But where would she have finished? Would she have won?
Yeah, she'd have won. She'd have won the champion hurdle if they'd run in it. I think we've spoken about it many times, but I mean, this mare's hurdle, it needs a facelift. You know, it needs to even, there needs to be a penalty introduced for horses that have won all age open against the geldings, so that you can't beat the geldings and then go back in against the mares and take an easy option. You've got to make it more difficult for horses like Lossiemouth. I mean, I don't have a huge problem with Mullins running Lossiemouth in the mare's hurdle, but with her running in that, having won an open Grade 1 already against the boys, she should be carrying a penalty that reflects that, because it's not fair on the other mares in the race.
Yeah, she's hugely exciting. You're saying she would have won, yes or no?
No.
I'm a no as well.
No.
I'm a no. I'm a no.
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? I'm just about to say no, I think.
Yeah,
No.
3 against 1. Absolutely
you?
fantastic.
I
You're the
just
one that's supposed to
think
hate the
Spademan's
mares'
brilliant
races. You just told them they need a facelift, man. Right, let's go to Ballyburn. The banker of the week, the banker of bankers, said DJ in the paper, our Irish deputy editor. There he goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, let's put some context into that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Robbie, I want to come to you here. We knew at this point that Team Henderson was in serious DEFCON 5 levels of alarmness. And Jinko Blue, poor old Nico, first 4 rides, all pulled up. Handstands, for whatever reason, didn't perform. Well, it turns out, the second half of the week showed us some people were getting a bit too much toys out of the pram with this. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a fantastic achievement, brilliant horse. A little bit too much said about the Brits?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, there are other British novice hurdlers around. I suppose if you look through the Supreme, it was dominated by sort of Irish horses, but I don't know, it's still sort of early day. It could all change come Aintree. There's sure to be 1 or 2 that missed that meeting that come to hand at Aintree, I'd have thought. 19-8 was the press week parts, but of course going into the Friday, which is traditionally a strong Irish day, we were close enough, weren't we? So I think we could be a bit happier with this year.
I think we can be happier that we've still got some very, very good trainers. I think if you're looking for the future of the sport, bar the Turners, the novice division was dominated. The Grade 1 novices were dominated by Irish trained horses, which is a concern about the next few years and where the very good British horses are going to come from.
Well, if you think that Nicky Henderson wasn't involved in that tussle, and he's the one really that can put it up to Willie in the Grade 1s, it's a respectable score, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a respectable effort. I thought, like you said, it was quite close going into the last day. 4 winners behind, I think, going into the last day.
It shocked a few people.
Yeah, which shocked a few people. And I think there's one thing we learned this week more than anything. It's that Dan Skelton is capable of putting it up to Willie Mullins. You know, he's proved there this week he can win Grade 1s, he can win handicaps, he gets his horses there in top form, he can beat Mullins in the Grade 1s.
Yeah.
We need to be pushing Dan Skelton as the big British hope now.
He doesn't need much pushing, Posty, does he? I don't think.
You could push him, G-Rob, but he'll be running on in front of you anyway. So,
He takes some pushing anyway. Let's bring Sam Norris in here. Let's talk about Ballyburn, Sam. And what were the reactions? Because sometimes punters can find out where a horse is likely to go by looking at the anti-post market. So 2025, I imagine favourite for the Arkle. Where does he sit in the champion hurdle betting, etc. with Hills?
Yeah, as you say, he's favourite for the Arkle. He looks as though he's almost certainly going to go chasing next year. It was an exemplary performance this week. No surprise to see him put in 5-2 fav for the Arkle next year. The rest of that market is kind of full of some imponderables. So Gino's second favourite at 7-1. Obviously, we didn't get to see him this week in the Triumph. Don't know if chasing is on the agenda for him next year or not. Slade Steele, the Supreme winner, is 7-1. He looks a likely type to go chasing next year. I thought Firefox, of the horses who ran in the Supreme, emerged as, in my view, the potential horse who might be best over fences next year. He's 12-1 for the Arkle, so I could see that being a kind of half sporting bet. In terms of Ballyburn's price for the champion hurdle, if he's to stay over hurdles, he's 7-1 in that market behind the kind of big 3 horses in that division, with 6-4 Constitution Hill next year. I know there was kind of a Willie won't he this season as to whether or not he'd go chasing. I don't know if that's going to be on the agenda next year. You'd think if they were going to go chasing with him ever, they would have done it this year. He's 6-4. Lossiemouth second in at 7-2, the next year's champion. I'd be in the camp that she would have won the champion hurdle this year. And Stateman's 4-1, the next year's champion. He's actually been the most popular Stateman for the 2025 champion hurdle, which is interesting because, I think if a fully fit Constitution Hill turns up and the Lossiemouth turns up, I think Stateman's playing for third. But of the big three names, he's been the best back for next year at 4-1. But to answer your original question, Ballyburn 7-1 for next year's champion hurdle, 5-2 for the Arkle. I think chasing looks a little more likely, but we'll see.
Oh, okay. You're currying favour with G-Rod. They all do this trainers, because you're the one that comes up with the nicknames for him. And we're all thinking, we said, well, we'll give him a show and we'll see what Sam... All I could think of was Doris, so for Sam Norris. So, but probably not the kindest one. But he's currying favour with you and he's coming in with the Stateman thing. Ballyburn, let's go down the line. Chasing or hurdling?
Chasing.
I'm going to say hurdling.
He'll go chasing, but I would love to see him stay hurdling.
Hurdling.
Oh, I think so.
I think they might have ambitions that they could win a champion hurdle and maybe a Gold Cup.
Ooh, well, yes, the champion. Did his father do it? Yeah, he did, didn't he? The only was Patrick. Paddy Money's the only guy to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
The only horse to ever win a Gold Cup and a champion.
And that is going to be firm. I mean, to get a horse like that, take Aidan O'Brien on the flat, for example, we might have a Triple Crown winner in waiting this season.
Yeah.
They only come along every now and then.
You're making a mistake here. You're making the assumption that Willie Mullins is actually interested in creating great superstars. He's not. He's just interested in winning as many races as he likes.
Well, that's hard to knock, because of the way he splits them up, and we're about to come to another big hitter.
I think he's going to get creative with some of these now. He's going to have to.
I hope so. It'd be great if he does.
I think this guy potentially is. I mean, Impera Pass is the elephant in the room here, isn't it? Because
there's a few of them.
We all thought that he would be, a horse to bustle up Constitution.
There's a few of them in this race, though. Sam Crow, Envoyal, and Seguer.
Are you suggesting this is a bottom-out race?
No, not at all. But yeah, I mean, recent history suggests it is. That it produces very good horses, but it doesn't produce the superstars that it kind of flatters to deceive at times.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's interesting. Champion hurdle. If you're going over fences, which you are with Ballyburn, you are called Turners, you're going up in trip, what are you doing?
I'd go put him in open company if he's that good. Well, waste the season in novice
He thinks he's Coney-Gree?
No, I just think more like what would Factor 5 have done in a Ryanair?
This is a seamless link, Rob. You're going to the next horse that we need to
I've not done the time comparisons, but
I'm looking at you for that.
I think if you've got a brilliant horse, brilliant
have
novice,
a go.
Yeah, have a go. Yeah.
The two best performances on times from Tuesday to Thursday were Ballyburn and Gaelic Warrior of the week.
I mean, Ballyburn guys looked really second coming-y, didn't he? He looked Constitution Hill was impressive, and so was he.
He's got it all. Tactical speed, jumping ability, Ballyburn, stamina,
in the flesh. Did you get a look at him?
He's a big slab of a horse.
Is he?
If you're being unkind, he's a slightly common-looking horse compared to, say, Factor File.
Common?
Yeah, a little bit, Factor File, just to jump in there, I don't think he'd have jumped well enough to win the Ryanair this time round.
He was a little bit scratchy early on, wasn't he,
I thought
Factor
Mark
File?
Walsh gave him a very good ride. He jumped big early.
Bit to his right?
A little bit to his right, and then he kind of let fly, so took off a bit early over a few fences. It was a performance that got better and better throughout. I think he's got a massive engine. He's definitely a big player in open company, but I still think he's a bit of a work in progress. He missed all that, jumped straight from bumpers to fences, Florida Pearl-esque.
Yes.
And I think that's because of his age. He's a 5-year-old that Willie Mullins wants him to have the peak of his years when he can run the Gold Cup. But I think the novice call was the right one this time round.
A top Brown Advisory winner?
Yeah, I thought he was outstanding. Yeah, he was really good, wasn't he? He won so easily. They come off the home bend and it looked like it was going to be a race.
You get the feeling with Willie as well, don't you, G, that he loves training this horse. He talked about it being an old-fashioned type of horse, the good equipment he wears.
Yeah. He looks like he's got it all, doesn't he? And don't forget your fresh Gaelic Warrior at Leopardstown, whether you think that was the Gaelic Warrior.
You made a bit of a donut yourself saying that.
That was a really good time. Really good time.
That was not the Gaelic Warrior that we saw.
Why was it
the time was
he
good.
blew up in the paddock,
you can't say that the real Gaelic Warrior turned up.
That's absolute madness.
It's just the fact the clock never lies. If a time is really good.
Yeah, but that was the winner. What the clock did Gaelic Warrior clock? He probably clocked like a plater's time, didn't he?
He didn't finish, did he? He unseated rider.
Well, that's what I mean.
But he wouldn't have run a terrible time behind Factor.
He never looked happy. I mean, that is for the first time your madness has come out.
I think G-Rod's is in the Cheltenham performance proves that the performance he put in at the DRF was a top class.
You're suggesting he broke?
No. But what I'm saying is Gaelic Warrior also didn't pitch up. That wasn't Gaelic Warrior's real performance.
Surely not.
Oh, of course, yeah. It wasn't his real performance.
Yeah,
Probably
all right.
not, but we can't say that for sure.
Mullins doesn't miss was a nice saying that you had during the
Mullins
week. I think you
doesn't
should
miss.
maybe coin that phrase.
Mullins doesn't miss.
I like that. I did
Remember
like that.
when you come to next year's Cheltenham Festival and you
Yeah.
see all these Mullins short-priced horses, most of them win. There's usually one that gets the bookmakers out of trouble. This year it was El Fabiolo, but 9 times out of 10, Mullins doesn't miss.
I'm going to come back to Fact or File because we will be doing him in the Friday because I want to know where he might feature against some horses. Mullins doesn't miss because then you, of course, contradicted yourself by that. You literally said Mullins doesn't miss and then you said my lay of the week is El Fabiolo.
Yes.
So that was a complete contradiction. It confused me, even if you were right.
Yeah, well, it won't be the first person that I've confused with that sort of thing. But you can't put these theories on blanketly. You can't just say, "Oh, Mullins doesn't miss," and then back everything that Mullins trains. You have to still take a view about the horses
You wrote
that are there.
97,000 words this week and you just invented one.
What was that?
Blanketly.
Blanketly. You can't just blanketly put theories down.
But sometimes what you're saying is you fail to see the wood for the trees, as in just back Mullins' favourites.
Yeah, and listen, so much said about that.
We've spoken a little bit this morning about tipsters and how difficult it was this week tipping. Sometimes, as a tipster, you feel compelled to take on these
Yes.
Mullins short price favourites, looking for value. Just stop wasting your time. Mullins doesn't miss. Ballyburns wins, and all those Gaelic Warrior, they all just go in and win. So just concentrate on the races where Mullins has not got a short price favourite, got half a chance.
And don't we love it? We just want to back winners, which is what we're going to be doing, trying on a Saturday for you. Let's try and wrap up Cheltenham as quick as we can then. El Fabiolo, where does he go now? What does he do? Just go back to Ireland and get in a clean rhythm and dominate still?
Well, what's to stop him running at Aintree and Punchestown? No, he's not had a full rate. I was worried when he initially was pulled up that he was hurt, but he seems to have come out of it fine. So let's just
crack on.
Paul Tannen just knew it was race over. Like you can't get back into the race.
It was
after
second
that.
fence, wasn't it? Or third fence? Second, was it?
Third, it was
Third.
one away from the stand.
Third.
But I mean, again, it was a very good ride by Rachel Blackmore. She applied pressure to him. He jumped sloppy early. She got a big jumper that one away from the stands, and the horse went to come up with him. Change his mind, race over.
I have to say, some of us knew that was going to happen. You said it. You said he's going to struggle to get around. Just a very quick thing. Aintree is stiffer fences than Cheltenham, right? Like markedly so, isn't it? I wouldn't fancy him around there.
I don't think he'll run. I don't think he'll run.
If you've got an iffy jumper in it, I think we have to now say categorically he is an iffy jumper.
He could bounce back from that though, like very easily.
The engine under the bonnet. Nico de Boinville and Tom Segal had a little tete-a-tete on a preview I did, and Nico's kind of right. But Tom is still, absolutely convinced this is a bigger engine than Galopin de Champs, that sort of thing. So, anyway, we'll get to that. We'll talk about Willie Mullins' 100 as well. That was the bumper. That was a marvellous moment, wasn't it? Jasmine DeVoe, a point winner for the Meniers. This was massive, wasn't it, Rob? And great that Patrick rode it as well. Sometimes, you can make that up, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean the fella's got unbelievable firepower, and he was always going to have probably at least 8 winners. He's had, is it 10 in the end?
9.
No, it was 9. It was 9. Sorry, yeah.
It was the bullishness coming from him as well, wasn't it? Talking about how well it was all going on the Saturday, and I thought we'd have a blitz of a week. He said in the Post this morning.
Yeah, well, you just look at the sort of the horses he had relative to the market. Like he probably fared as well as would be expected.
I think you've got to look at 100 winners is a good career for plenty of people, across the board in racing,
Yeah.
To have 100 Cheltenham Festival winners is just it's off the charts. And I think what he did through Cheltenham, he looked seriously relaxed the whole way through. But I think you got the vibe that they'd had a seamless run up to the races. Nothing had gone wrong with any of the horses. There'd been no training issues. And I think he remarked that it was almost going too well, he'd said to David Casey around the breakfast table. And the whole way through, he just seemed like a man completely at ease in his world.
The one thing you've got to say about Mullins, which, as we've already said, Mullins doesn't miss, feeds into this, is that I don't remember him having festivals like Henderson has had this time, for example, where everything falls apart on the day, and plenty of other big yards. They have a year, don't they? 1 year where it just doesn't come together. And every single year, consistently, Mullins is there. The horses are right. They're running bang to form. They produce their peak performance at Cheltenham every year. Loads to be said for that. It's a great achievement.
We could go on about this, but they've changed the programme slightly in Ireland, of course, because less Grade 1s, and now they're turning up. And if you look at, say, for example, the Dancing City race that kicked off the festival at the DRF, 3 or 4 of them then went on to run quite well at the Cheltenham Festival. It's just take each other on. And Willie's line was, if you get beat, it doesn't matter, he's still a good horse. So there is a lot to be said.
But it also
for that.
shows, because Paul Tannen doesn't always get it right at the Dublin Racing Festival. he almost always gets it right at the Cheltenham Festival. So it shows it's helping them realise the pecking order, isn't
Let's turn the tide. Brilliant for everyone at Close Sutton. We stand just in awe. We're in Willie's world, as it was said in the week. Then the tide started to turn, didn't it? We've got to now mention Ben Pauling and Dan Skelton. Yes, the British winners. Jeremy Scott, absolutely fantastic in the mare's race. What a weird result that was. But she looked the real deal, didn't she?
Yeah, really impressive performance. I mean, these guys are perfectly capable. It's just a shame that they don't have a bit more ammunition, to be honest.
But then Golden Ace, let's talk about this. Posty, you're probably the one to talk to about this. She would have been picked up fairly cheap, I would imagine. She got a nice flat pedigree, and it just shows, keep them in one piece, train them right.
Yeah, I mean, and she shows that a Golden Horn as a coming force, as a jump stallion as well, and I didn't think there was any fluke about it. The problem was, again, so as we say about, sometimes it's obvious with Mullins, well, Gordon Elliott the whole way up had said, brighter days ahead, banker, absolutely one of the best horses he's ever trained. But Golden Ace had the Dysart Enos form, Shane Fergal O'Brien, that she couldn't turn up.
Oh, terrible.
But she blitzed them. Looked very, very good. And Jeremy Scott, to be fair to him, the whole way up to the festival, in an unassuming way, had said, like, she's a big player in this.
Yeah, I didn't really believe it. I thought she would have it handed to her by the two Irish horses. It was a messy race to watch. Quickest horse won the race, I think we could say that. He deserved it, didn't he? He's had a couple of near misses. He used to run in Champion Hurdles and stuff. I can't remember the horses.
Melodic Rendezvous.
Melodic Rendezvous, yeah.
Got myself into a bit of trouble with that.
And Dashel Drasher nearly won a Stayers, of course. It's just Jeremy Scott.
She switched off best in that race. So I thought the other two, Better Days Ahead and Willie's filly, over-raced. I thought it was quite I don't know what the time suggested, G-Rob, but I thought it looked a messy race.
Yeah, but you've just maybe realised they had better days ahead and brighter days ahead.
The one thing I would say is that it's great to see someone like Jeremy Scott doing it, but like we've already said, there were 3 trainers this week for me who were just far better than anyone else.
Take it away.
Obviously Willie Mullins was one, Dan Skelton and Henry de Bromhead.
What about Gordon Elliott? You can't not put Gordon Elliott in that. He had 17 or 18 places,
Posty
3 winners.
Posty just said, right, coming into the Mares Novices Hurdle, Gordon Elliott was going on about how great Better Days Ahead was, the best horse in his, so couldn't possibly lose.
Brighter Days Ahead,
whatever it's called. Couldn't possibly lose. The best horse we've got. But did he get it there to win on the day? No. If that had been Mullins, and Mullins had come out and said, this is the best horse we've got in my yard, that would have won.
Yeah,
Mullins doesn't miss, Elliott misses.
You're still livid about Tahupo, I can tell. But look, Henry de Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore, absolutely fantastic to get.
Rachel was great, wasn't she?
Henry's horses just turn up at the festival, don't
Yeah.
they? They really do. Gavin Cromwell, we must mention him.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think G-Rod, yeah. I mean, I know the way you're thinking. I mean, that was a proper one, wasn't it?
And then the sister wins the next day.
Yeah, I mean, because that didn't jump great early either. I mean,
Arthur ran very well in the Grand Annual. His horses just turned up.
on the Thursday, you couldn't really come from off the pace over fences. That was nearly last with Derek O'Connor, and it came down the hill.
It was a ridiculous
pulling a cart.
gamble.
I mean, it was unbelievable.
The race fell apart, didn't it? But that was the gamble of the week. I think we can probably just about say that. Let's get to the Friday then very quickly. Ride of the week on Absurd.
Well, I'd have to watch it.
Do you remember
I'd have to watch it back. I was in a pub watching it, and I was on Load of Sood at 12, so I was a bit frustrated.
Well, when Load of Sood went to the last, and most eyes, because he's, that colour, the silks, weren't looking at Absurd, were they? Unless you backed it, of course. I've got to admit that we should try and do this one week. Confessions of a Punter. I backed Absurd, and then I couldn't have him at all.
On the ground?
I backed before I saw all the ground change. So when he came through and won, I'd almost forgotten about the bet because I thought he had that less of a chance because of it. What an amazing horse he is.
Could be a Grade 1 horse, to be fair. If he's
Well, he
done
is
it
a Grade 1 horse.
on that ground, off that sort of mark, it's a similar enough mark to Stayman, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Only a few pounds
The
lower.
run at the DRF was fantastic, but to win an E-Board, to go and run in the Melbourne Cup, that's, come on, this PlayStation stuff, isn't it? Absolutely
Similar
magnificent.
Wicklow Brave, the sort of Group 1, Grade 1.
Yeah, true.
Let's see.
That was also I was thinking of. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Mullins again. Let's just sum up the Gold Cup, please, gents. A brilliant winner, of course, Galopin des Champs. Black horse, so everyone latches onto him. It was a pretty uneventful race all the way round, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I just think a more mature horse than last year. They were unsure of the trip. They dropped him in last year. This year, Paul Townend just rode him like he couldn't get beat. He was 2 or 3 wide, making sure there was no mishaps. Jumped spectacular. Brilliant horse.
If it wasn't for the loose horse, it would have been the smoothest thing that ever happened.
The only thing I loved about the loose horse was Paul Townend, ruthless race rider, to make sure shoved Jack Kennedy back inside on Jerry Colomb.
The loose horse played its part, and there's something that I wanted to say about this. I thought Charlie Deutsch it didn't help Charlie Deutsch either, who was riding long press. A lot of people are saying he didn't get home and that he should go for the Ryanair. I think we need to give him another chance. I think it lit Charlie up a little bit.
I'd agree with that.
He was like, what the hell's this coming to have a go at me? And then if you watch it back, he looks and he sees there's no rider. It's almost like the Headless Horseman, isn't it, coming up to you? And he did, I think he went a little bit sooner than he wanted to. Long press ran an absolute stormer for me. Cora Crampler, my God.
That's a serious trial for the Grand National.
Oh, did he have too hard a race?
What's this? You don't really know.
It's a grueler, isn't it?
It was pretty testing. How long till aim trip? 3 or 4 weeks?
4 weeks.
I mean, he's a
4
monster
weeks.
and he's been kept fresh, obviously. Cora Crampler, go close again.
Yeah, he must do, must he? He must go close again. I thought it was a really good run by Jerry Colomb. Obviously, he was second. Gordon Elliott, to be fair to him, he did have him bang right on this day, and he did promise everyone that he would have him bang right on the Gold Cup. And he did say before the race, I'm not sure we'll beat Galopin Des Champs, but we'll get a lot closer to him than we did at Leopardstown over Christmas. And he did. And he would have been closer to him, but he made a bad mistake at the second last that just sort of took away his momentum at a crucial stage. He wouldn't have beaten Galopin Des Champs, but he would have been closer to him.
Sam Norris, let's bring you in and put you on the spot a bit. The Gold Cup market 2025 as we wrap up what's been really fun and an excellent review of Cheltenham here on the Morning Post. What price is he to get the hat-trick and emulate the mighty best mate?
He's 7-2 Galopin Des Champs to win it for a third year in succession, which is interesting because 12 months ago, in the aftermath of him winning the 2023 Gold Cup, we went 3-1. This time around, now he's won it twice. We're 7-2, so we're a slightly bigger price than we were 12 months ago for him to back up. That 7-2 has been popular, though. We're pretty happy to lay a little bit more of that as well. You've got Factor File, who's second in at 4-1. Obviously produced a stunning performance, as the lads have suggested in the Round Advisory earlier on this week. It looks as though all roads are going to lead to the Gold Cup with him. It's been interesting in the sense that the glowing terms that Willie Mullins has spoken about this Factor File as well, which you rarely hear from Willie Mullins. He's not in the Aidan O'Brien mould where he'll talk up his horses every single year and say, this is one of the best we've ever had, etc., etc. Just don't hear Willie Mullins talking about horses in the way that he spoke about Factor File. That for me was huge. He obviously had the performance to back it up this week. He's 4-1 for next year's Gold Cup. And then Il est Francais at 8-1. I mean, I'm desperate for this horse to come over from France. He could be the wild card. I mean, he looked fantastic over Christmas, didn't he? So really, really hope he comes over to take on Galopin. That would produce a sensational Gold Cup, I think.
Nice one, Sam. Sam the Smiler. What do you reckon? Sam Smiling Sam or something like that? He's got a great grin.
I
And
really
you
like
can tell he loves
Sam's.
the
I
game.
really like Sam's vibe.
He's your kind of guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just cheerful
He's your
character.
kind. I don't know whether you'd be his kind of guy, but
I'm an acquired taste.
Sam the Smooth Operator. We're getting a bit of Sade, we could call him.
Yeah.
Any of those prices tickle your fancy?
Well, it'd be great to see Factor File run against Galopin Des Champs. We will get it.
We will get
it. McManus owns Factor File. McManus has the final say there, not Mullins. So it won't be a case of, well, maybe Factor File go right here and I'll carve it up.
I don't think Mullins would do that anyway. They're both going to go for that race. I think Galopin Des Champs a better horse than best mate already.
Votor. I'll just remind you, Votor.
Yeah, right, okay. I mean, I think hopefully now the MO has changed slightly. All right, that is pretty much the wrap then of Cheltenham. I hope you had a marvellous week. And let us know. We're going to get some socials in. The producers are building them. I'm sort of nodding to them as they're doing that. The boys have had a long week, let's put it that way, but they're still raring to go for the end of this. Right, shall we move on? Cheltenham, 2024, done and dusted. Let us know if you've taken any of those anti-post prices. The panel can give you their answers to any questions, and let's get involved. This is an interactive show. Don't forget, like and subscribe. That's what it's all about. Been superb support of the Racing Post content this week. Let's keep it going. And what could you get in your Racing Post this morning? If you're part of the Members Club, this is, of course, all digital, but that paper feeling. Mr. Incredible can give his namesake another winner to cap a remarkable week. That was a Graeme Rodway headline. OK, what have we got? Tom Seagull, we're giving you all his price-wise selections. Look, all for free. Williams set for Beano with Lord Snooty. Yes, indeed. Second in the row. So what's a headline?
Oh, yes.
Tom Pointing, he's that confident. And there's the Sizzlers. There he is. He survived the week. Gold Clermont for Paul in the Midlands National? In the Midlands National. It's been a long week for me as well. Lord Snooty. There's the double then. We see this, don't we, so often. The Keeley and the Seagull double. This week, it is Lord Snooty. Doesn't always work out. So Scottish, for example, at the County Hurdle. But it means the boys are fancying him strong. I wonder where he figures in the market. Let's get it on then. Let's get your first market of the day. These will move in front of your eyes. And Sam Norris, let's come to you. 2:10 at Kempton. An open but competitive looking handicap with some really good horses in it.
Yeah, very much so. And one of our big extra place offerings today as well. And the extra place might just come in handy here. We've got 11 runners, but we're going 4 places instead of the usual 3. The fact that it's 4-1 the field, I think will definitely mean that this race could be ripe for an each way bet or two. Titan Discovery's been pretty solid at the top of the betting. Is a very much horse that we respect here at William Hill, 4-1 currently. Irish Hill, second in, 11-2. That's been a bit easy to back, actually. 4-1 early doors, drifted out to 11-2. But Paul Nicholls and Harry Cobden, obviously this represents, pretty powerful connections. You've got Welsh Charger in there as well, who has won a couple of races recently, and punters might be looking toward the form there as he bids for a hat-trick. I don't really know what he's won in those 2 races. I think he probably needs quite a bit more than that, and the punters are kind of backing up that view as well. He's easy, 12-1. Out to 16-1. A couple of horses who I think are interesting in this race. Alien Storm will start with, that's a 15-2 chance. I think better than the bare form the last twice. Caught the eye last time around, like this trip would suit. Sean Bowen takes over in the plate from a £5 claimer. That's a positive. You've got a few horses in here on recovery missions. And the other one that I'd maybe come to as well is Katira. We know what a good week Dan Skelton has had. Nico de Boinville takes the ride aboard Katira, which is an interesting booking for the yard. Now, she was runner-up to the aforementioned Irish Point in the Mersey Novices hurdle at Aintree last year. That race has just worked out really well. Obviously, Irish Point has done wonders for the form. Katira had Hermes Allen in behind, had You Wear It Well in behind, Crambo in behind. It's just form that looks really good. Now, she probably should have won the 2 races that she's been in this year. They were listed mares-only hurdles. So you'd really be thinking that a horse who was runner-up in a Grade 1 novice at Aintree last year ought to be winning those. She finished 3rd and 2nd, but she drops into a handicap today. I'm willing to give her another chance given the yard form. So Katira and Alien Storm were the 2 I thought were interesting in that extra place race.
Well, I've just been off to the cafe and had my breakfast. Sam has basically just comprehensively done it. I just need a word from you.
Should we just
guys.
move on?
We could just move on.
Yeah.
I've been told we've got to get through this section quickly as well. What wins?
Alien Storm.
Alien Storm. You're with Sam a little bit
Yeah,
there.
I'm with Sam.
Sam's going to need 8 places.
Yards
I
in
think
form.
he tipped the whole
Yards
field.
in form. Step up and trip. Sean Bowen.
Job done. Lovely.
I fancy Good Luck Charm, trained by the Honey Monster, Honeyball. He's in flying form, got good form at the course, good Luck Charm.
He always does it, doesn't he?
I just don't know if he'd like being called the Honey Monster.
He doesn't like a lot of things looking at his social media.
Stayed on very strongly last time when 4th at Sandown. I think that you'll see a better performance here from Good Luck Charm.
Yeah, we'll love being called the Honey Monster if this wins. And Robbie Wilders.
Yeah, I like Good Luck Charm for the Honey Bear.
The Honey Bear.
Just mega consistent. On her last 4 starts, she's hit the frame at 10-1, 28-1, 18-1, 18-1. She's a decent price now. Good course form, 4th in the Lanzarote. That's always that's a slightly deeper race than this. I think she'll give you a good run for your money with each way place terms.
You can't keep a good man down, Rob. Despite the fact I worried about you coming in today, you've still got it, haven't you?
This man will be kept down later today, mate.
You'll be getting your nut down, will you?
Laying down. I've got to catch a flight at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I mean, that's pleasing. That's
it's
pleasing.
not
Just
gonna be a
keep
good
going.
night's
Just keep
sleep
going. Like
tonight
everyone
either.
else is just the party rolls on.
You're young, you should be going.
Absolutely. Where's the
wrong.
stamina man?
I'm in my 30s now, gents.
Jesus,
So it's not
man.
the same.
It's not lost on me that Dan Skelton runs a few here, and a little bit like a race we're about to go to at Uttoxeter. These are valuable races for horses that can't necessarily get in at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
And I thought Boombourne was interesting as the pick of Harry.
Boombourne's interesting. The Harry rides him. He goes well fresh as well. I thought Katira has been off and freshened up. Could be a prep run for Aintree.
Correct. That's how I saw it. That's how I saw it. But when you see Dan's got the top weight and a couple of them,
Yeah.
probably, let's face it, if there's been, I mean, he's a new Charles Burns, isn't he, Dan? All right, there is a Skelton boost as well. There you go. Harry Skelton to ride 2 or more winners at Kempton. It's epic value, 2-1. Love it. Let's move on then. Let's get up to Uttoxeter, where the Slogfest is. Spoke to Richard Fothergill, Clark on the course yesterday, and it was supposed to be dry overnight, but they have had a torrid winter up in Staffordshire. This is their jewel in the crown of the jump season, and this is an absolute belter of a race, this. 51 grand to the winner. And I guess we've got to start with Christian Williams, Sam. Now, Sam, brilliant the first race. A little bit more succinct. We all want to get our lunch down, and some Robbie's flagging.
No, that is fair enough. I've got to read my notes here, and I thought, I'll just read everything I've got written down. I won't do that this time around. Lord Snooty popular at 3-1. Obviously, that's got form that ties in with Cuthbert Dibble, who was well fancied for the Potemps earlier on in the week, and still run well when finishing 3rd. That's been a popular choice at 3-1. Others that we've seen interest in a White Rhino, who was probably a bit unlucky to miss out on getting into the Potemps this week. He's 6-1, been shortened up a little bit. You've got plenty that come out of kind of Potemps qualifiers. Monmiral's race that he won at Chepstow is represented here by Supremely West and Classic Concord. Glimpse of Gala ran well in that race as well. Could be another one of interest. Glimpse of Gala at sort of bigger prices. That's 33-1. It's another extra place race as well with 5 instead of 4.
Oh, you snuck that in. The producer said to me, if he doesn't get that, you can go. And it's been a sterling debut so far, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
we've been able to have a breather as well.
You don't need to worry about it, Sam.
J-Mac and Johnny the Judge are looking at this going, God.
I saw the Johnny the Judge actually on Thursday.
Did you?
Yeah, at Cheltenham. Yeah,
we came out of the betting cave.
Yeah, we had a quick swift drink together. It was quite
lovely.
nice. Yeah, it was good. This race here,
Beauty.
Whenever I hear Lord Snooty, I'm sorry, I must apologise to him in advance, but it always reminds me of Nick Luck. You know, a great friend of the show.
Didn't the Crick used to call him that?
Yeah,
he did. Yeah,
who wasn't it in the morning line? The great John McCurrick, Lord Snooty, Lord Snooty.
Well, Nick used to wear like velour jackets and stuff, didn't he, and have the cravat on.
But I think he'll win, Lord
Do
Snooty.
you? Second last year to Trelawn, of course. Mishap at Cheltenham, but was favourite for the Ultima. We've seen what he's gone to do. It's this sort of race, isn't it, chaps? I think we are going to see Ultima horses in the future, plate horses maybe. 50 grand goes to Lord Snooty.
Yeah, I think he'll win. He was very eye-catching, wasn't he, at Haydock last time on testing ground.
You're the same?
Yeah.
That's 4 if you count Kills and Seagull for Snooty.
Make that 5.
Oh yes, I now remember the running order.
Those two sort of ruined the price a bit. Cause when I wrote me copy on Thursday afternoon, this horse opened up at around 6-7 to 1. The price is gone, but the price is more reflective of his actual chance. I mean, that's a really good run at Haydock last time. But obviously, Cuthbert Dibble's come out, and I thought he was quite eye-catching in the Potemps final.
He ran well, didn't he?
I thought he ran really well, and Lord Snooty's only £3 higher. It's a decent pot. Christian Williams coming to hand.
And that's the thing as well. Christian Williams is back in form.
Double yesterday, was it? Oh, I think you definitely had a very well back winner at Fakenham. That's your Christian, you sneaky animal.
Tonto Foley earlier in the week.
Tonto Foley, a maiden no more. It's one of the best songs I've ever heard. I actually messaged him about that to call him a filth bag. And I thought Kitty's Light ran well as well, didn't it? The week 7th in the Ultima, staying on.
That was
ominous.
Here we go. Entry on the horizon. Okay, I thought St Davy now has got out to the price is the horse to be with here. He's very low mileage for a 7-year-old. John Joe didn't have the best of weeks, did he? Creverly ran well for him. Couple of them ran okay. This horse, you remember at Sandown,
we both put him up.
We both put him up.
He's a progressive horse.
He's definitely still ahead of his mark. That form, Hermino Hermino has let the form down slightly, but on dreadful ground.
Excuse me.
Gesundheit. Unbelievable scenes. Unbelievable. So who put him next to me? I mean, no naked flames near him at the moment.
You're vulnerable at the best of times.
I am vulnerable at the best of times. I think they probably know that, don't they?
Sat over there.
This is the one way to get rid of Orton. Unbelievable scenes. Yeah, I thought St David would do it. Kills has put up a good case for White Rhino, who would have gone to Potemps if he'd got in. And Supremely West is interesting because he's got the blinkers on. If you watch him the last twice around Chepstow, he's been back. He was backed off the boards in Monmiral's race that Sam mentioned. There's a line there. He is really hitting a flat spot, having been a very consistent novice. He's interesting as well. So it's an absolute cracker. What do you like? I promise you we will get you some social selections as we go on. But we must move along. What price is this? Outlaw Peter, I'm pretty sure, Sam Norris. I saw some 4-1 yesterday.
Yeah, doubled in price, as you say. Miller's Bank all the way out to 8-1. Former classy horse, earns Grade 1 honours at Aintree a couple of years ago, but been very friendless in the market. Outlaw Peter has been strong. He won on this card last year over hurdles. Phlegmatic's another one toward the top of the betting at 100-30 that punters have been pretty keen on. He's got form that ties in with Chianti Classico, so obviously that looks even better after he went and did the job nicely in the Ultima. Lord Baddesley strong at 5-1. The one we were happy to lay here was Do Your Job, who looks plenty exposed. This one was a bit shorter yesterday, but has eased out 12-1 to 16-1. So punters turn their nose up at that one as well, as they are Miller's Bank. But Phlegmatic and Outlaw Peter, the two popular ones.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when the market opened up for this, Phlegmatic was death faff, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was. Outlaw Peter's about 4-1.
I mean, this is a plunge job. I can't think who'd be going big on this race.
Well, I think that's the win, Outlaw Peter, don't I?
It's not thrown together, that link. That was that teed you up for it.
Sorry, I didn't get a chance to have a really close look at this horse's form, so I've got to have a quick look through the... Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know why I think he'll win now. Sorry, just have to check. It's been a long week.
Yeah,
he was second, wasn't he? Behind Blow Your Wad.
Yeah.
Behind Blow Your Wad over course and distance.
Top form.
It's always a good race, that race at Christmas. Blow Your Wad's come out and won again since, I think, hasn't he? He was third, I think, at Musselburgh last time. Travelled quite well. He's a flat track Kempton type horse, but I didn't think he'd be 11 to 8. He wasn't when I tipped him.
No. Okay. All right. So you missed the price on that one.
Yeah.
You'll be something of a phlegmatic fan. I mean, I like phlegmatic because he's enigmatic, but he does love Kempton.
I was going to say he's pretty solid at Kempton.
You're very solid at Kempton.
So yeah,
I
like
like Ante Classico as
He's
Sam
had
said.
his day though, isn't he, at Kempton? Like he won, didn't he, a couple of starts ago?
Do you think this is it?
Probably his win for the year.
Would that be one of your take on horses then, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Phlegmatic, you're taking him on.
Yeah, I'm taking him on, yeah. My one I'm worried about most is Lord Baddesley. He's got good form, hasn't he?
Let's have this.
go.
Lord
Dunners
Baddesley
agree.
for me
Dunners.
says Dunners. Tell us why Lord Baddesley might be a danger. Chris Gordon it form, Rob?
I'm not particularly scared of Lord, but I'd be quite scared of Miller's Bank actually.
Every time you think of Aintree, you think of Miller's Bank. Am I
I
wrong?
think Kempton as well. I mean, he was second to Pick Dory in a Sylvaniaco Conti, wasn't he? He's had
Nice.
wind surgery, and his last 2 runs after wind surgery, he's had RPRs of 157, 156, and he's off 148. I don't know. I could just see him running well at a price.
Yeah, okay, a bit of value. He's drifted out, said Sam Norris as
Non-runner
well.
in the Ryanair, wasn't he, during the week?
That's correct. Of course he was. Was that ground thing for him? Was
Must
it?
have been, yeah.
Must have been. All right. Quick tip.
Phlegmatic.
Phlegmatic.
I'm with Outlaw Peter.
You're out with the short price favourite.
I have to desert Outlaw Peter now because he's got so short. I'm going to go Miller's Bank
Why are you deserting him? Because of
because it's just the price. Yeah.
everything
I
that can
don't-
go
I
wrong in a
don't-
race.
I don't like betting at short odds. I've just not been good at it over the years. So.
All right, we move on. I think it will be the Midlands showpiece coming up next, and indeed 3 o'clock. Good luck, Dunners, by the way. Keep them coming, those socials. We love to interact with you guys, as you know. Now, Major Dundee, Sam Norris won the race last time in the colours of the late Trevor Hemmings, and here we have Iron Bridge. You see joints. In fact, you've got co-favs.
Yeah, we do. 3 of them now. Iron Bridge, Autonomous Cloud, and My Silver Lining, all 5 to 1. Better start by saying we're 5 places instead of 3 on this race. They'll never let me back on if I don't get that in and hammer it home. 5 places instead of 3 on the Midlands National. Iron Bridge has been targeted at this race. You said the colour of Trevor Hemmings. They're absolutely synonymous with staying chasers. And, you know, he ran pretty well in the Welsh National. If it wasn't for an unbelievable effort from the winner, Nassalam, who won by half the track, didn't he, that day? Iron Bridge would have won. That was a decent spin. He ran well last time around. Also, you've got to respect the other 2 at the top of the betting, albeit Autonomous Cloud's got to bounce back from that deplorable effort, really, in the Welsh National himself. Beauport's one we're happy to get in the book. He's out to 16 to 1. His jumping's never really convinced, especially for a test like this. From a personal point of view, I reckon Mr. Incredible goes well here. He unseated in the Grand National last year, but that wasn't really his fault. The saddle slipped. He was a bit unfortunate. He's been off the track 11 months, but Willie Mullins is just a master at getting horses back right. He was runner-up in the Classic Chase at Warwick, and he looked like he wanted a more extreme test. Not many horses you'd say that about who finished runner-up in the Classic Chase. So I quite like him at 11 to 2. I don't know why, but I'm thinking of the phrase Mullins doesn't miss for some reason.
I like it. He's an absolute nutbag, this. I'm almost certain this will go off clear favourite.
He's an absolute nutbag. Yeah, no doubt about it. He's an absolute, but he's got loads of talent, hasn't he? So he's got every chance, and Mullins will have him right, won't he, off the break for sure. He was a massive eye catcher that day at Warwick.
Are you going with him?
No. I like Guetapan Collonge.
Give us a case quickly.
He stays really strongly. I thought he almost shaped like he wanted further in the Classic Chase last time out at Warwick over 3 mile 5. He was really running on well towards the finish. He's going up to 4 mile 2 furlongs on every ground. He ran well in the race last year. He's not that much higher than he was last season.
Yeah.
And I think he's better horse this year. So Guetapan Collonge.
I mean, this is a proper betting race, this, isn't it? We've seen some fantastic memories over the years, Synchronised being probably the top of them, I would imagine. Where's Poste going?
Difficult in recent times to win this with a big weight, though, as well, and I think that's going to be a big factor.
Did you ride
today.
in this race? Did you ever ride in this race?
Yeah, I'd have ridden in this
because
race, yeah.
At Uttoxeter, we should get into it with the viewers slightly. It's an interesting track because a lot of people think it's a very testing track. Home straight takes a lot of getting, doesn't it? But is it quite quick on the way round?
It's a relatively sharp circuit, but the ground just gets very deep in the middle of winter. So, 4.25 miles around here is going to be extreme.
Is this the longest race of the season now? It is, isn't it? I think national.
The Ide is
coming down.
4 miles. You know,
Yeah,
it's in,
this has got to be
national.
This is
Quarter
where we
quarter
need
as well.
Kel throws. All right.
So for me, Facile de Lage. Come from Noel Meads, 2 from 2 for Jamie Snowden.
Sandown horse.
Military races, and the form of those actually worked out okay.
Yeah.
The trip is a little bit of an unknown, but he's in off 11 stone. I still think he can go a bit higher for this yard.
I thought he was interesting.
This is what you want, isn't it? Nice and quick and snappy. We just want to back winners. What's going to win for Wilders?
Yeah, I'll totally agree with Poste. I like Farstead the Lodge. Just Jamie Snowden is another really good trainer that probably doesn't get quite the sort of firepower he deserves. As Posty points out, yeah, 2 good wins at Sandown. He beat Rose of Arcadia, giving her £17. I know it's a military amateur riders race, but that horse is now rated 130 after winning a good contest at Sandown last week since. And Farstead the Large is 136, so that's an £11 difference. He beat her quite well there. I get the impression he will stay a bit further. It's going to be a question mark, but that's the same for a lot of them. And he was quite a good horse for Noel Mead a couple of seasons ago. He sort of refound his mojo, and I think it'll go well at double figure odds.
The old Git ran a blinder, didn't he, in the Kim Muir Gitmaker? Wow. He was the only one to get near that gamble for Jamie Snowden. Right, let's get up some socials. Let's see what you like in this showpiece. Rob Pannard. Good morning to you, Rob. Love this. Yeah. My silver lining for me. Rock, I think on ability and form, she ought to be favourite. Doesn't mean I think she will be.
And she's still off 10 stone 9. Like, rock solid chance. Like, loves this sort of race, you know, as in...
Bumped into one last time. I thought James Best went soon enough that day at Haydock as well. Yeah, because I was worried about her on the ground. She's been wonderfully progressive. Yeah. I remember backing around Southwell, I think, last summer, and she got beat.
But you can't see her not running well, can you?
She has to go well, I think, for Emma Lavelle. No, Paisley Park, of course. Oh, Paisley goes off. Asked me earlier, Gold Claremont for Leachy. Gold Claremont out of the handicap. Paul Keeley likes it, Leachy. Charlie Post, legend, by the way, for his shout in the Hunter Chase. Chris Bonner.
Thanks, Chris.
Chris Bonner, get out to a point to point. That's where you'll see Posty. You can buy him an ale. Great stuff. Keep these coming. We absolutely love them on the Morning Post here. Good morning if you're just joining us. We've done the Cheltenham review. We've had a look at what's inside your racing post. Get along to that. Unmissable stuff, the review, all the Saturday previews, which we're now going through. And we move on. To the 335, where that man Gavin Cromwell, good to see strong Irish interest. Has this been a plot? That's the question. The price looks easy enough to back to me, Sam Norris.
Yeah, you're spot on. 9-4, we opened up Evie's Vladimir out to 3-1 for, as you say, a trainer we greatly respect coming over to the UK. He's been going great guns in handicaps this side of the water so far this season, but a touch easy to back Evie's Vladimir. Out to 3-1. The Changing Man is a horse we're trying to keep on side at 4-1. He fluffed his lines last time out, but has got some eye-catching form from earlier on in the season. He's there at 4-1, could be interesting. Fortune favours to bowl 11-2, a bit like a horse we saw earlier on. He's chasing a hat trick, but has probably won 2 weaker races than this coming into this event. So it looks a tougher assignment for him. Changing Man, I think, the one to keep on side. And a surprise, really, that Evie's Vladimir is cold in the betting.
All right. Does anyone think that Cromwell's going to hit the target here?
Please,
Posty,
please tell us why.
Yeah, I just thought the step up in trip was interesting with this horse. You know, it's third on its last start. I thought he kept on galloping pretty well. He looked like he was going to end up being well beaten, probably a well beat 4th or 5th, and rallied after the last to get back up the third. So I thought the extra 3 furlongs would be well in his favour. And Gavin Cromwell had a brilliant week. Keith Donoghue rode brilliantly all week. I thought he deserved his winner in the mare's chase because I thought the likes of Flooring Porter he gave excellent rides to.
Yeah, Fortune Favours the Bold is obviously a Tom Siegel price-wise for Christian Williams. No Marsh Wren. How well does she run, by the way? Marsh Wren, run your horses. Fantastic.
And they took her to Ireland before that to win over there.
Mare. Yeah. Absolutely. Again, great effort.
One of the blokes who part owns Marsh Wren works at Racing Post in the Leeds office as well.
Who is?
A bloke called Tom Hill.
Tom Hill, good mention for you. There's a job at
Tom.
William if you want it, I think, going. Not Sam Morris's job, of course. Sam Norris is absolutely having a blinder, isn't he? Okay, Easy Vladimir, take on.
Yeah, it would be a Christian Williams double, I think.
Ooh.
Fortune Favours the Bold. Big myself up for once. Price-wise, extra followers would have backed her when she was 20-1, I think, when she won at
that is a big up.
Lovely shout, mate.
That's a big
Huntingdon a couple of starts ago on really testing ground. Gavin Sheehan rode and he went out in front Maydell. Never looked like she was going to get beat. She went up in the weights last time out Lingfield again on really testing ground. Doesn't get much deeper than it does at Lingfield, does it? And again, she dominated that race. She's one of these typical Christian Williams. She's gone really, really quiet through the midwinter period, and then suddenly the spring comes along, and she's just taken off. And I think she's well ahead of her mark. Fortune Favours the Bold.
One man that likes a horse in this, where is he? Now, last time we saw him, he was nearly dying in his deathbed with his headphones on. I think he survived Cheltenham. Shall we try and bring in Johnny Dineen, who's somewhere on the line? Hey, there he is. John's in the car. He's got the memo to stop this time as well. Johnny, great to see you, man.
Good, yeah. Very good, Dave. I listened to you there over the last half an hour. Very interesting stuff, yeah, absolutely.
How was the week, John? I think a bit of seconditis crept in.
Yeah, look, I give myself good chances. I was happy that I didn't do any damage insofar as I'd say I probably just about scraped it, very little in the marginal stuff. But I had a load of chances and I just couldn't get them over the line. I think the last 7 bets I had at the meeting, 6 of them were second. So look, I did get a touch of seconditis. But saying that, I wasn't unlucky in any race either. So I never mind when you get a good run for your money and you get a fair crack at the whip. I wasn't coming away saying that should have won or that should have won. I was unlucky there. So I got a fair crack at the whip. Didn't get any money, but had my chances, and that was it. So it could be a lot worse.
And you're feeling better, John. I mean, they were calling you the super spreader down in the Cotswolds, I think.
Yeah. No, I'm much better now. I still have a dirty old cough now every now and then, but no, I'm any little touch of whatever it was, flu or whatever, is gone now for the time being anyway. So I'm good.
You can't keep a good man down. I don't think anyone's seen any fellow panellists since, of course. Johnny Dineen needs a shout out for Stellar Story. Absolutely bang on. Says someone called Cheese, who obviously got plenty of that, I think, thanks to your Stellar Story then, John. That was a nice surprise winner.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? I tipped it in the paper, and I actually tipped it in a lot of them racing preview or them Cheltenham previews. And I did not back it, I swear to God, until the last 30 seconds. I wasn't going to have anything on it. And I said, geez, just in case it wins, I'd better throw something on it anyway, you know what I mean? And it actually saved my bacon. Only for that, I would have a real bad day now, you know what I mean? But then I suppose you could look at it another way. A day you're back at 30, I actually backed at 45 to 1. A day you're back at 45 to 1 winner and you don't win. You're probably doing something wrong too those days.
Well, listen, I think we can all agree, guys, that when you're getting 6 out of 7 seconds, it means your radar's pretty spot on, as frustrating as it is. The radar today, John, I wanted to bring you in for that Uttoxeter race. I've read your column. You really like the changing man. That's maybe where the supporters are coming from.
Yeah, look, the changing man for me, look, the way I look at the changing man, like, okay, Evie's Vladimir, you'd expect Gavin Cromwell and all, great stable, great jockey, great everything about him, really. But like that's been running in like banded races, absolutely like banded over in Ireland. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of stuff it's Plumpton of a Monday, you know. And like when you look at the likes of the changing man, he's been running against Stay Away Faye, Grey Dawning, Giovinco, even finished in front of Grey Dawning. Now he is unproven on really heavy ground, but like I think he's given Evie's Vladimir a pound. Like if the changing man ran in one of those races in Ireland, it'd be 20s on to win that race, I think, anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, Evie's Vladimir is very, very moderate. I don't care who's training it. It is an ordinary horse. And look, if the change, no, you are trusting it to go on the ground, and it hasn't any form on heavy ground. But I was willing to chance it at 4 to 1 anyway, around that price. That if it can't get this done, it's going nowhere anyway. If
it comes back to that Exeter form, which I think you're probably looking at, John, it's a good thing, isn't it?
Even the race when it fed against Stay Away Faye and Giovinco in Sand, going okay in that race. I mean, that's miles apart from what the likes of Evie's Vladimir was running.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Is that the nap today, John? Of course, it's St Patrick's weekend, John. Just give us a quick wrap of what you fancy. I mean, cards here. We've got Turlers today, of course. We've got Wexford, and what is it tomorrow? There's also a card tomorrow somewhere, isn't there? Down Royal, is it?
Yeah. Look, this will be quick now. Turlers, the first race there is Walk with Paul. That'll probably win. Mr. Policeman is unbackable, very short, and the rest of the card there is horrific, really. Like Somerville Boys' favourite race, but he's a 12-year-old horse. Like, I just couldn't get my head around back in that. I didn't fancy anything else. But the racing tomorrow in Wexford is awful. It mightn't even be on. And in Down Royal, I'd fancy Faulty in the first race. It should have won its last run. It's running a maiden hurdle, and maybe never a dull moment in the 402. But it is pretty poor fare now, and you're dealing with really bad conditions as well. So it'll be last man standing. I fancy the few horses in Ireland. And I would say, like what looked like I suppose at one stage been a demolition job for Ireland. The English horses, they did do okay in the finish in Cheltenham. Like I think it was 18-9 to finish, particularly in light of the fact that Gino, Constitution Hill, even John Bond, No Show, and like Nichols had only one winner. His main horses didn't run. They didn't do too bad in the end. I suppose you've done that today early on. I wasn't watching the end of it, but 18-9 like wasn't the end of the world. Like I could have seen it being worse.
Yeah, okay, all right, John. Walk with Paul in the first. That's a Marine National. That's even money with Hills if you want to look for them.
Yeah, That should win. That should win.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I even analysed that for the Post, that race. I haven't got put on that one, which is a bit of a random one. But yeah, I think I said he ran well. He'll like a test. John, let's just quick come to you for the Cheltenham Festival. One horse you saw running this week that you thought, I might be back in that in 2025.
Look, I think that really impressive to me was Ballyburn. I mean, you'd oppose that in almost no company, I don't think. But I wouldn't anyway. That was extraordinarily impressive. I know it might have been a wonderful race, but it won with some swagger. And considering the fact that Blade Steel won the first race, like in Frankie's form, look, you'd say that's nigh unbeatable in novice chases next year. I assume it'll probably go that way. And look, the fact the fight was incredibly impressive too. You'd have to say that huge runner in the Gold Cup, in fact, and another horse that could figure the Gold Cup. I wouldn't be shocked if I know graduated to that kind of class. Okay, like he's probably a 20 pounder, 165 with the trainer he had. I'd say he'll be in and around that premises as well now myself.
Cheers, John. That's great. All right, you were nodding along then.
I know the way you're thinking for the Gold Cup potentially. I mean, it's a big shout, but there have been stranger things happen.
Synchronised won a Gold Cup. He won a Midlands National. We're talking about today. We'll keep Johnny Dineen on the line.
Yeah, I think what Johnny's saying about Ballyburn is bang on, isn't it? I mean, the horse just looks like an absolute star, miles ahead of anything else.
Yeah.
If you absolutely know it's going chasing, you can get, 5-2 for the Arkle. You can get a similar price for the Turners. Whatever race he turns up in next year, if he gets there, he's going to be 2-7, right? So I think you're going to be on a value bet. You could almost back him for both races.
And still get quids in.
If he goes chasing.
If he gets chasing and he gets there, Mullins won't miss, does he? So you could be on an odds against shot on something that goes.
Did you think he'd go chasing? Ballyburn?
Ballyburn, yeah, probably.
That's 3-2 against us for the chasing. Let us know what you think. Does he go chasing? Johnny Dineen thinks he go chasing as well. Right then, that is the jumps done and dusted for today. The season, of course, goes into April for the Bet365 meeting there. Cannot wait for that. We've got Aintree to come first. We've got Punchers down. It's all ahead of us, Fairy House as well. But this is where we're going to test the panellists. This time next week, the flat is back. Indeed, it's back in Ireland on Monday, isn't it? But there we go. The 23rd of March showpiece up at Donny, where it's sure to be soft underfoot. And you've got last year's winner and third there. Migration now £4 Ida. David Manouzier, he had his day in the sun. Awal was placed in the race as well. Panellists, what do we like before we go to Sam Norris?
I really fancied Mystical Power, I think it's called, trained by...
well, right, I finished second in the Supreme, didn't it, mate?
Mystical Power.
Mystical Power.
While do you regather
He's
yourself?
bred to run here, in fairness.
Well, I mean, I
forgot what it's called now.
I thought it'd be a bit...
Mark Walsh is coming over for the spin.
I've seen it a bit bigger than that, but Liberty Lane I like. Carl Burke's 2 from 9 the last 14 days. It's 2 from 2 on soft ground, 1 from 1 at Doncaster. 4-year-olds have won 5 of the last 10 of these. So I thought Liberty Lane was an obvious player.
Him and Botanical for Sheikh Mohammed Obeid. They look like they've got those profiles.
It's called it's called Majestic Pride. sorry.
The producers are giving you a pass here. I'm not sure the video. Majestic Pride, give us the case.
Pride, you know, it might as well
Jumps
be
well.
this time of the week. It might as well be Mystical Power. You know, it's just Majestic Pride. It's called from Charlie Appleby. Finished 4th last time at Maidan. You've had horses come out of Maidan. It's a big advantage having had that run.
Who trains
it? Charlie Appleby.
Oh, yes.
He was a top
33
5.
to 1 with Hill. Sam's about
33.
to tell us. He's got a great record in this as well. Godolphin also go really well in this one. Get aimed at it. Robbie, now you composed yourself.
No, if Mystical Power was like supplement for this, I'd give him a massive chance.
Galileo, isn't it? You know what I mean? There's a link here. Who's going to be fast or slow for you in the link?
They leave the hood on or not?
Who knows? They need a good draw. I'm going to go for Vativer. This horse, I think she's got a big one in her. She's got a lot of graded group form last season on the flat.
Andrew Balding's horse.
Yeah, Cheveley Park. She's quite eye-catching 5th at Ascot and the Balmoral. I think the ground was thought to have gone against her there. There's no love for her in the betting whatsoever. This could get tested as well, to be fair, but if she has been aimed at the race, I don't think she is a 20-1 shot, that's for sure.
She's quite a buzzy horse last year, I remember.
That's a horse capable of group form.
I've got to love the fact that at the end of such a mad, bonkers week, here we are talking about the flat.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what happens.
Royal
This is the game. This is the game. Johnny Dineen, have you had a look at the Lincoln man?
My God.
No, I must have. I didn't even notice it was in the memo. I genuinely haven't got an iota.
Don't back mystical power, John, whatever you do, all right? I'm not sure you'll get an opportunity to lay it as well. Johnny, listen, it's been fantastic watching on the YouTube content here at the Racing Post. Your segment on ITV was a real refresher as well. The target's good. Go well this weekend, man. Glad you're better.
Thank you. All the best, lads.
Cheers, Johnny.
Cheers, Johnny.
Johnny will be joining us again shortly, no doubt. Right, Sam Norris, you've heard all that absolute gafumph about the Lincoln. What's been hot and what's not? Oh, blimey, we've got the... he's fallen off his chair at the mystical power. There he is.
He's back.
That's the best I've ever looked at. Can we not go back to that shot? We've been betting on the Lincoln for a while, actually. It's been a fairly static market, but now Cheltenham's in the books. Maybe we'll see the flat fanatics kind of move in. A while is the 5-1 favourite. Last seen finishing mid-div in the Balmoral. Liberty Lane, who Charlie mentioned, I quite fancy as well. He's 6-1, second in. Obviously, we'll go in the ground. Got that win at Doncaster 2 back. He was way too keen in the Cambridgeshire to do himself justice, but he was sent off 10-1 for that. So they clearly think a bit about the horse. Botanical is 6-1. Sparks Fly 12-1 with Mostubshire. And a couple of prices for some of the selections for the lads. Vetiver is 20-1, if you fancy that. And Majestic Pride, 33-1. And I've tried my best. No quotes, mystical power, no offers, I'm afraid.
No supplementary entry. Willie Mullins, if you're listening, and JP Manners and Frank Berry, you've been told you've got a Lincoln horse on your hands.
This was the plan all along with mystical power.
This was the plan. He didn't blow out a candle after the race. He's good to go.
Brilliant.
He's good to go as well, isn't he? Let's face it. All right, we're nearly good to go. It's nap time then as we go. This has been a really fun show this morning, guys.
Yeah, I've
been a
enjoyed it,
brilliant celebration of a week. And this is where I come good. This is my moment.
Come on, Dave.
I've had a strong week.
First one.
And the one is back on my name. Let's get the naps up and Sam Norris can tell us what the boost is. I've got them here as well. I've been given them by the producers. What am I looking for on the Jaguar? That was 11-4. What's it been boosted out to, Sam? Or it's out to... What's the boost on Jaguar, Sam?
You know what? I don't even know.
I've been given a picture here by the producers.
Go on, give us 4-1.
And
Price is mystical power.
It was 11-4. Is that the boost? Someone will be screaming
That's
at
the
Hills
boost.
now. It's out to 11-4. It was 11-4. So it's been really well back. This is a horse that won at Carlisle last time. Despite everything going wrong on the run-in, the Green on and Guerrero team think this is their next Iroko. I know that they were really hoping at the start of the season he was going to be able to make it into the boys' race. I think he hasn't quite. 4-1. I'm being told. This is more like it.
Oh.
Sam Norris, give me some of that fours. 50 quid, right? They're live.
I've got them all now as well, so you can throw to me for everyone else's naps now. 11-4, out to 4-1, Jaguar and the 150.
That was worth waiting for. That was worth waiting for. Yeah, he's a very, very good horse, this. He'll go through the ground, and I like him a lot. Charlie Post.
Shake Your Tail Feather in the 320, the Mares Novices Hurdle. Very eye-catching at Taunton on a penultimate run. Got brought down just travelling into it at Doncaster last time for the all-conquering Dan and Harry Skelton team.
You could see that form even if you were blind. Do you get the reference there? It's Ray Charles, isn't it? Shake your tail feather. You've shaken your tail feather before.
I'm nodding just to be kind. I haven't got a clue.
It all goes through my mind. Again, it's been a long week. Shake your tail feather then. Blues Brothers horse for Posty.
Good luck charm for me. 210 at Kempton. The Honey Monster. What price is Sam going to give me? Come on, Sam. What are you going to give me?
What the boost there, Sam, for those two?
What is it?
Yeah.
Come on.
We'll start with Charlie's. Shake Your Tail Feather was 9-2. Now going out to 13-2 for that one. Nice. Happy with that?
Yeah.
That's a right boost, isn't it? Wow.
And Good Luck Charm was 7-1. Now 9-1.
9-1. The Honey Monster. He's going to strike.
They know what sort of week you had, and they're treating you with disdain. Robbie Wilders.
Yeah, Lord Snooty for me. So was that 5-2 originally, Sam, out to threes?
3-1 out to 4-1 now, just for you.
Lovely.
Yes,
Whoa,
please.
So you're back at where you
time.
were earlier in the week, 4-1. That's what you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick Luck will be having some of that. 4-1.
Yeah, you could do a Lord Snooty. I was just looking at you, thinking you with a cravat and a smoking jacket on. You could definitely pull off that look.
I'm
Absolutely.
normally more like casual attire, mate. You see me in jogging bottoms in the office.
Still look a bit like an extra out of a Robin Hood film, but it's
out of order.
Oh, indeed it is. I'll tell you what, they are your naps. They're live now. You can get it on the app, of course. Go to William Hill website. They're boosted. I think it's up to about 1 p.m. And that is that. We've come to the end of this morning post. It's been absolutely fabulous. Great to have you. Thank you for supporting the Racing Post all through the week. And what a debut it was for Sam Norris.
Cheers, chaps. Thanks very much. Enjoy the day.
I mean, I thought he was going to wax lyrical. That's typical, isn't it? I was preparing myself for a real Sam eulogy to send us off. Succinct as well. He's getting the game progression is everything, as you know about.
Yeah, really enjoyed Sam today. It was great, wasn't it? I think an upgrade on J-Mac. Wait till J-Mac comes back. He won't be happy with me, will he? He'll be boosting all of my naps.
That wily smile will have to get a bit bigger on J-Mac's face.
Okay. Off for a lay down now. Been a long week. Off for a lay down.
Sterling efforts.
Yeah, try and recover in time for the Lincoln.
Yeah, well, we'll be doing that next Saturday. Posted, great to have you
When
back.
Mystical Power's going to run.
J-Mac will be about as happy as with you as Gordon Elliott will be as well.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Gordon, yeah.
Absolutely, great to have you back.
Thanks, mate.
You're getting the trip well. Unlike the sprinter amongst us.
Developed bags under my eyes over the last few days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks off now for me though.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm off to Arkansas. Me auntie
Oh
lives
yes,
out there.
indeed. Good luck. Good luck.
it's
What will
a
they
lot-
make of you over there?
Won't we?
Yeah,
Going to take the US racing scene by storm.
Oh, can't wait.
I'm not even sure if it's legal to bet in Arkansas.
It was nice knowing you, Robbie, anyway. It was fantastic. Listen, this has been the Morning Post. Well done to the guys in the gallery. Sterling efforts, I think you'll agree, from all the guys at the Racing Post production team this week. It's a behemoth. They'll be back, of course, for bigger festivals throughout the year, of course. Is there a bigger one than Cheltenham? I suppose we've got Aintree coming up, Royal Ascot, all that sort of stuff. Hopefully Goodwood as well. Like and subscribe. Show them some love. We love you. This has been the Morning Post.